Should you buy the Panasonic S1H II when it drops? Or wait and see what happens next? That's the question burning in your mind right now. And I get it. $5,000 isn't pocket change. You're probably thinking, what if I buy it and something better comes out 3 months later? What if the price drops? What if I just wasted my money? This decision is eating at you. And by the end of this video, you'll have your answer. Not some vague maybe, a real answer. Based on what you actually need, what's coming next. And one thing about this camera nobody's talking about. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell right now, because what I'm about to reveal will save you from a $5,000 mistake. Let's start with what everyone's missing. The S1H II isn't just another camera update. There's something deeper here that changes how you should think about this purchase decision. And it starts with one piece of technology that most reviewers are glossing over: the global shutter sensor. Now stay with me because this matters more than you think. This camera has a 16-megapixel full-frame global shutter. What does that actually mean for you? It means zero rolling shutter. Not reduced, not minimal. Every time you do a quick pan, every time you shoot handheld with fast movements, every time you're filming something in motion, the image stays perfectly stable. No jello effect, no warped buildings, no distorted wheels on moving cars. Here's why this matters to your decision. Right now, cameras with global shutters cost $6,000 and up. Red charges that much. High-end cinema cameras live in that range. Panasonic is bringing this technology down to around $5,000. That's not just a spec improvement. That's a fundamental shift in what you can afford to do with your work. You're getting cinema-level motion handling at a price point that actually makes sense for working filmmakers. But there's more to this sensor story. The readout speed is faster than anything Panasonic has built before. That means when you're shooting 5.1K at 120 frames per second in open gate, the camera isn't struggling. When you push into 8K at 30 frames per second, the data pipeline keeps up. And here's the part that ties directly to whether you should buy or wait. That speed means this camera isn't going to choke on the formats you'll need 3 years from now. You're not buying something that's already outdated. You're buying something built for where video production is heading. Now let's talk about heat, because this is where a lot of cameras die in real-world use. You're shooting a wedding ceremony in summer. You're recording continuously for 40 minutes. Most cameras start thermal throttling, they limit your frame rates, they shut down. The S1H II has an active sealed fan system. That means unlimited recording in high resolution without overheating. You can shoot a 3-hour event in 4K at 240 frames per second with no crop, and the camera just keeps going. For wedding filmmakers, for documentary shooters, for anyone doing long-form work, this isn't a luxury feature. This is the difference between getting the shot and missing it because your camera gave up. Speaking of autofocus, Panasonic has historically struggled here. They're promising a phase hybrid system with AI subject detection. Humans, animals, vehicles, objects. On paper, it sounds competitive. But you've heard promises before. The question isn't whether it exists. It's whether you can trust it when you're shooting a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Whether you can hand this camera to a second shooter and know they won't miss the shot because the focus hunted. This is the gamble in buying early. You won't know if the autofocus is truly reliable until real users test it in the field. And that brings us closer to your answer about whether to wait. Now let's talk about something that actually works in Panasonic's favor: color science. Panasonic has always delivered organic color that doesn't need hours of grading. With Vlog 2 and what they're calling ARRI-inspired color science, they're claiming 16+ stops of dynamic range. That's the kind of latitude where you shoot into the sun and still pull detail from shadows. Where you walk from bright outdoor light into a dark room and never lose the story in crushed blacks or blown highlights. For real-world filmmaking, for weddings where lighting is unpredictable, for travel films where you're chasing light, for documentaries where you can't control the environment, this dynamic range isn't just a number, it's creative freedom. And here's what connects this to your decision. This color science is proven. It's not a promise, it's an evolution of what Panasonic has been doing for years. So even if the autofocus is slightly behind Sony, Even if there are minor quirks in the first firmware, you know the image quality will be there. That's a safety net when you're deciding whether to buy early. Here's your answer. And I'm breaking this down based on exactly who you are and what you need. First, if you already own the original S1H and it's still working for you, wait. I'm being straight with you. The jump from the original to the Mark II is significant, but it's not revolutionary enough to justify $5,000 if your current camera is still delivering results your clients accept. Yes, the global shutter is incredible. Yes, the internal RAW is a dream. But if you've already mastered the original S1H, if you've learned to work with its quirks, if you're not losing jobs because of technical limitations, then patience is your friend here. Because the camera market over the next 18 months is going to get aggressive. Canon has rumors brewing. Sony never sits still. And the longer you wait, the more likely the S1H II drops in price or Panasonic releases a firmware update that adds even more value. Save that $5,000 or put it toward lenses that will make a bigger difference in your work right now. Second, if you're shooting on older gear or crop sensors and you've been waiting for the right moment to jump into serious, full-frame cinema work, buy the S1H II when it launches. Don't wait. This camera is built specifically for you. You're not upgrading from something that's 90% as good. You're making a leap into a completely different tier of image quality and professional capability. The global shutter alone will transform how you shoot motion. The internal RAW will elevate your post-production workflow. The unlimited recording will eliminate the anxiety of thermal limits during long shoots. This isn't just an upgrade. It's the tool that lets you compete at a level you couldn't reach before. And every month you wait is a month you're not building your portfolio with this quality, not pitching higher-end clients, not establishing yourself in that premium market. The opportunity cost of waiting is higher than the risk of buying. Third, if you're a wedding filmmaker or documentary shooter who needs reliability above everything else, here's my honest take. Pre-order it, but don't sell your current camera immediately. Wait for the first wave of real-world reviews. Wait to see if that autofocus truly delivers in chaotic shooting environments. Wedding filmmakers can't afford to miss focus on the first kiss. Documentary shooters can't afford to lose a critical interview moment because the camera hunted. Panasonic has a history of delivering incredible image quality, but stumbling on autofocus reliability. So hedge your bet. Get the camera early enough to test it thoroughly before peak season. But keep your backup until you're absolutely confident. That's the smart play. You get access to the new technology without putting your business at risk. But there's one more thing I promise to tell you. The thing nobody's talking about. And this is what actually seals the decision. Panasonic is positioning this camera as a 6-year flagship cycle. That means this isn't a camera they're planning to replace in 2 years. This isn't a stopgap model. This is the cinema workhorse they expect professional filmmakers to build their businesses around for the rest of this decade. That long-term commitment from Panasonic means firmware updates. It means lens development focused on this mount. It means accessory ecosystem support. It means when you buy this camera, you're not just buying a body. You're buying into a platform that Panasonic is betting its entire cinema reputation on. So here's my final word. Buy the S1H II if you're stepping up from older gear, if you need the specific features it offers, if you're a working filmmaker who can turn this into income within the first few months. Wait if you already have the original S1H and it's working fine, if you can afford to be patient, if you want to see the competition respond first. But whatever you decide based on your actual needs, not fear of missing out, not hype, not what some random person on a forum says they're going to do. And if you want to know what else is coming in 2025 and 2026, if you want to see which cameras could completely reshape this entire conversation, you need to watch my video on the top 10 rumored cameras for 2025 and 2026. Some of those rumors sound like science fiction. Some of those price points could democratize cinema quality in ways we've never seen. Some of those innovations will make everything we talked about today look conservative. Click that video right now. Because the future of cameras is closer than you think, and you need to see what's on the horizon before you make any major purchases.